NewGenGamers.com.
This is Defender. It was ported, Atari ported it over from the hit arcade game from Midway Midway. I guess they're owned by Midway now. Bally, whichever one floats your boat is their name.
Yes, whichever's still on top.
Now this one was known for its difficulty. Now you're supposed to pick up the people here, but I don't see how you do it. I don't think we have a manual on this. We're just gonna kind of fly through and shoot things.
That's the way.
Because I remember how you do it in the arcade version. It's just I don't have the extra button. Oh, I could have picked up that little dot there. Apparently that's a change of level.
You know, I think they could have done better with a lot of these games if they would have had some text thrown onto the screen once in a while to explain what the fuck's going on. Too many of these games are just something flashes and you're supposed to know that that means something else happened.
Yeah, it's...
you know, I know they didn't have many resources to work with, but, you know, a little screen that says, good job, next level would have really...
Well, that's where Coleco and
presentation.
Intellivision really shined on that.
I think a lot of that comes down to the fact that Atari didn't have George Plimpton, which we've discussed before as really being the thing that held them back from total dominance. What was it, the Intellivision had Plimpton.
Yeah, the Intellivision had Plimpton, and he was their spokesperson.
And when you've got class like that selling your game console, you know, the sky's the limit, which of course they never reached that limit, but the potential is still there, I think.
I have smart bombs. Unfortunately, I don't know how to use them. That was a splat.
Now, interesting there, as you see, he can go multi-directional. That was a kind of a novel thing for this time.
Yeah, a lot of games just forced you one way.
Yeah, and you know, once you were past something, it was gone. So that, you know, that was kind of an interesting thing with that.
Now this one is Frogger. This one's actually the first third-party effort that I'm putting in here. This one was done by Parker Brothers, who ported it to just about every console known to man in those days.
Not done by Parker Brothers.
The original game was done by Konami.
Yeah, so
but Parker Brothers was the one that was responsible for porting it to everything.
Yeah, so this was a huge early Konami game.
Now, I'd say this game code itself was done by Parker Brothers. They did the ports.
Yeah, but the game design and, you know, original concept was Konami.
Right. Just like a lot of the early Japanese games were ported over by American companies to the earlier game consoles because they didn't get into making the cartridges themselves at that point. They just made the arcade originals.
Yeah, a lot of these companies didn't see any need to focus on the home market.
And a lot of them, like the first Japanese console that was made was the Famicom and the SG-1000 from Sega, which we would later know as the Master System. It was reworked a little bit and came over as the Sega Master System. So its lineage actually stretches back to the first generation of consoles. As does the Famicom, because there's a neat little story there that I'd like to cover with Atari actually had the rights to Nintendo to produce Nintendo's NES console. And,
they had the opportunity to market and sell the Famicom in the United States.
And they blew it. Because they wanted to focus on the computer line. Because it was bought by the Tramuels at the time. Kassar had built the contract for it, and then Tramuel got out of it because he was wanting to go his computer route. So we all see where that went. Let's see, the original Atari was sold, and the Tramuels are no longer in business, I believe. Because they ran Commodore into the ground later on. Surprisingly, trying to make a video game console. How about that for irony?
So, this is Frogger. This is a great early game. It was way different than a lot of titles out there because you're a frog. That's different.
Yeah, a little bit different. It's not space death.
Yeah. So you travel across the freeway with the different cars going at different speeds and try not to get splatted and try and get across the logs and the lily pads and make it to the other side.
Oh, this was a great game back in the day.
It's a great game. It's a great feel-good story. You can't not like Frogger, I don't think.
No, it's got that appeal to it where it's always going to be fun.
Yeah, it's one of those games that, they can release in these collections and virtual console downloads and whatever, and people will buy it up time and time again because it still holds true. And this wasn't a bad port. This is pretty faithful to the original, at least in design, whereas, something like Pac-Man that we looked at really failed in a lot of ways,
of capturing the feel of the original.
Yeah, and it's not graphics, it's the gameplay, and this is one that holds up in the gameplay area, and you still feel like you're playing the same game.
Yeah, with Frogger they actually did make it just like the original. They might have changed the graphics, but they definitely, kept the difficulty and everything. So, as you keep going, things do get faster and more difficult. As you can see, this freeway is getting rather treacherous. Oh! Usually die in the other versions.
Yeah, wow. I wonder if that's the only version that happens.
I don't know, but I'm going to keep doing that.
Yeah, any version of Frogger I've ever played, when you hit the end of the screen, you're dead. So if anything, this is maybe the easier version. Well, we just learned something new. Take that one home with you, folks.
That was awesome. Here I am trying to actually do that. I could have just went around.
Yeah, that actually makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, a ton easier. Jeez. Let's see if that works again.
Now, I wonder if that's something that, like, they could even maybe have that on, like, the difficulty setting. I don't know.
Oh, maybe. I didn't mess with the switches. Well, now we got the snake, so we're definitely screwed now. Because there's no logs. Oh, yep.
Oh.
Oh! It looks like a little Xbox symbol when he dies.
A little bit.
He's like... Alright, well that was good. Third parties really brought a lot to the table for the 2600.
Yeah, despite Atari's resistance towards letting other people produce software for it, they make great stuff.
Give me a second, you can just keep going.
Neptune challenges you to Sequest by Activision. With the Atari 2600, behold, Sequest. Your submarine must help stranded divers escape hungry sharks. Foolish mortals. Check your air supply and beware. Evil pirates abound. I think I hear your tiny divers calling out to you. Help. Help. Sequest. Steve Cartwright does it again for Activision.
UJGamers.com